Dig deeper. Use clues to analyze the text. Use these pages to learn more about sequence of events and author's word choice. Then read Curious George at School again. Sequence of events. In Curious George at School, you read about what happens to George at school. Authors write what happens in a certain order. Think about what happens first, next, and last as you read. You can use a flow chart to show the order of important events in the story. So in this story, let's think what happened first. So first, George went to school. Then what happened next? Next, George made a big mess with the paint. And then what happened last, or at the end of the story? Last, George cleaned up the mess with the help of the other kids. Author's word choice. Writers choose the words they use carefully. Some words help readers picture events. Some words tell more about a character. The story says that George is funny. What other words does the author use to describe George and the mess that he makes? So one of the other words they use is that he's sad. He's sad when he makes the big mess, but then at the end of the story, it says he's not sad when the kids help clean it up. Your turn. Return to the essential question. Why is going to school important? Find text evidence that tells what George learns at school. Tell your partner what happens to him first, next, and last. What do you do at school that is important? So we already did the first, next, and last together. So I want you to talk with a parent or someone you're doing your schoolwork with about what do you do at school that is important. And then I want you guys to have this conversation together. Talk about these questions with your class, but since we can't do it with our class, you can just do it with a parent or whoever you're doing this work with. How does George try to help? How do the children help George? How is George's school like your school? And then when you finish that, you can write a response. Write sentences to describe George. Tell what you think he is like. Use text evidence to give reasons why you think so. So text evidence just means you go back and look in the story and you find reasons or words that the author uses to describe what George is like.